Episode 3, Uncle Ron and Stuff. I thought about it, and I really, before I continue, I need to do a disclaimer. I don't tell lies, sometimes make things up, but if I do, I'll tell you about it. But the real disclaimer is that what I think I know or understand is only what I think I know and understand, which is limited. There's no way, I mean, unless I take a test or something, what do you really know? I mean, some people think the earth is flat. I don't think the earth is flat, but anyway, there is a limit to what I have access to, and it is only limited, like we all are, by our experiences and education and our explorations. So, example is like lost in the woods. I've never been lost because I wouldn't be here now, but sometimes I'm not sure where I am. So, with your knowledge and understanding, it's like, okay, well, uh, like in your local city, probably you remember how to get to the grocery store and this and that and that and that. But if I take you somewhere new, then you don't know, okay? So, only by exploration do you add things to your experience and your knowledges. But anyway, my disclaimer is that I try to stay out of opinions, but on the other hand, you know, it the Supreme Court, I'd like the Supreme Court to be non-political, not Republican or Democrat, but you take yourself with you wherever you go, and you have tendencies and thoughts and opinions, and so they are just, they carry a conservative or a liberal view with them. I try not to do that, but I got to disclaim that I might lean one way or the other, and there's a whole lot of stuff I don't know anything about. In fact, it's really important that you understand, because I understand, that we don't know anything. If you look off in any direction for any subject, for anything, it just goes to infinity. You can keep following down that rabbit hole. I don't care what it is. In fact, I found out today that there are ophthalmologists for various animals, like exotic animals. There are ophthalmologists who do eye work on lions and tigers and things like that. I didn't know that. Why would I ever come across that? I don't know that stuff. But anyway, there are. And in that whole field, it goes on forever. The whole thing of lion eye structure and just infinite amount of knowledge in that direction. And infinite amount of knowledge, I call it knowledge, I don't know, facts, understanding, something. And any dimension you want to go in, any domain you want to go in, like DNA. I talked to the psychiatrist the other day, and I had read, and I found it hard to believe, but I had read that your DNA, one generation can change DNA that gets passed on to the next. And I said, that doesn't make sense. One generation? And it had to do with your behavior, like me. My behaviors impact, it could change my DNA, which then could get passed on to my children. And I go, that just not in one generation. And so he began to explain to me how that, down at the little teeny level, we're all molecules and atoms and stuff like that. And even farther down, we're little tiny quanta of energy, and farther down than that, we're fields. And these fields all resonate. And so whatever we do with our body can impact DNA, twist little pieces or whatever. But anyway, the point being is that I separate mind and body, and I shouldn't, because the two go together like this. And anyway, uh, the disclaimer back again is I can only I can't ask questions for which I can't think of the question. I mean, I can't explore what I didn't know existed. Like all of a sudden they discover some new planet or something. And okay, and disclaimer again. When I was in high school taking physics, sit right up front, right in front of the instructor, teacher, and he had his little podium thing there. And so I was sitting next to a pretty smart guy, and the teacher was just rambling on. So anyway, the guy next to me puts a piece of paper over and he said, "Did you hear about the new element that's been discovered?" I go, "No, I ain't about that." And so he wrote down strontium or some such word, and in big letters. And so I read it and I looked at him like, "What?" And anyway, I think we mutually did it, but I'll give him all the credit. We turned it around so the professor could see it, okay? And the teacher was not particularly a bright guy. Anyway, in the middle of his talk and whatever, all of a sudden he says, "Oh, great news, we've discovered a new element, strontium." Facts and understanding, and I try not to mislead you. I will try not to mislead you. What I'm trying to do here is to get you to think about things and ask questions. Questions, questions, questions. Again, you can't question on something that you know nothing about because you didn't even know that anything exists. I can now look at ophthalmology for exotic animals because I didn't know that existed. And how do you get a degree in that? Where do you go study for ophthalmology of lions and tigers and ferrets and stuff? That's got to be a specialty under veterinary science. But I didn't know anything about it. I don't know anything about it now. Anyway, disclaimer. I will not lie to you, but my understanding may not be what mirrors the reality of the matter, which is what we all do. And it's helpful if you acknowledge that your understanding is only your understanding of it and may not, in fact, mirror exactly the truth. Well, truth. Anyway, enough for today. I've disclaimed. Again, this is Uncle Ron's stuff. And I wanted to add that not only do I yammer, I also have a website where I have writings, guides on repairing things, reviews of things. Anyway, you can look up Ron, R-O-N, Stultz, STULTZ.com. And you'll find a website called Trifocals, which is what I wear, and therefore vision. And you can look at fiction and poetry and all kind of stuff. And anyway, that's the end for today. I've done my disclaimer. I've given you a little bit to look if you're curious and you want to go dig into some more stuff. You're welcome to do it at ronstultz.com. Episode 3 again, Uncle Ron and stuff. And goodbye for today.